Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a DIY Dollar Tree farmhouse. I'm actually doing 12 days of Christmas, but you could use it like an advent calendar. And I wanted to show you that my inspiration was these bags from the Dollar Tree. But then I realized, or actually the buckets was what I originally wanted to do. If you watch the Fry Life, they had a 12 Christmas countdown advent calendar with little buckets. But I actually have these. These were in the wedding favor aisle. They actually got them on clearance. There were 50 favors for $2. So you can imagine I didn't buy anything new for it. But they are the same size as the favor boxes from the Dollar Tree. And then I got these 12 little hooks from the Dollar Tree as well. I wish I could find more. And then I'm going to show you guys, we're going to use a stencil for writing on there. But that's totally optional, as a matter of fact. But if you can't find either of the boxes or the baskets, we're going to show you how to make one. You'll see. And with craft paper and jute, that's what that was. Then we're going to need a ruler as well as a cutting utensil. And I'm actually making this on some garbage cardboard, but you can use the foam board from the Dollar Tree. And then we're going to cover it with contact paper just to add that farmhouse feel to it. There's lots of these online this year. Then, of course, markers. We're going to use the stencil, so we're going to use markers. But any way you want to numerize them, if you find stickers, that would be great. As well. Now we're going to take some craft paper and we're going to make our own little gift bags. I'm going to show you guys how to do it in case you can't find the white ones. What we're doing is we're just making an exact measurement of this only because we want them to come out the same size as those little gift baskets. I mean bags, gift bags, or boxes. So the first thing we're going to do is going to just make sure you have a rectangle that is 9 inches by 4.5 inches. And this is going to give us a completed bag of roughly 2.5 to 3 inches. And again, it doesn't have to be exact, but they will fit across the board like this. Is what I guess was my thought process behind it. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we want to fold over about 3/4 of an inch at the top. Okay, and now we're going to fold in about the width of whatever sticky tape you have. I actually am using sticky tape. You can use a glue stick, but on craft paper it sometimes takes a really long time for the glue stick to set up. So double sticky tape is definitely better. So you're just going to fold over a little bit where, like I said, is the width of my double sticky tape. Put a piece of double sticky tape on that and then fold the piece of paper in half. So you should end up with like a square that's roughly 4.5 inches wide, okay? But again, it doesn't have to be exact. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to measure. I'm measuring just to teach you guys how to measure up from the bottom. So from the top of the bag where it's the folded over edge, we want the whole bag to be 2.5 inches by 3 inches is what we're going to end up with, about approximately a finished piece. So from the top of the fold of the bag down, we're going to measure 2.5 inches and put a mark there, and that's where we're going to fold the bottom of the bag up. And then once we have the bottom of the bag up, we're going to push both sides in. And when you push both sides in, just at the very top till they meet, you want to make sure you keep the fold lined up with the seam. Here, I'll show you here in a second. Okay, right there. Do you see how the two folded seams actually line up and make like a straight line? That's what you want to make sure you do. It's just pretty important to do that. And then you're going to fold the tips in each so that they overlap. And I'm overlapping it just the width of my tape. Okay, and this double sticky tape that I have was actually from like window cling, you know, the weatherproofing. It comes with a whole big roll of double sticky tape, and that's what I'm using. But whatever tape you use, just make sure it's about that width. And then when you fold it over, then you go ahead and work your bag out. So we're just creasing with our fingers all of the folds. You guys have put together a paper bag before, like from the grocery store. So the sides get folded in, the edges, the corners get folded out, da-da-da-da-da, and yakety schmackety, and so on and so forth. And that's how you do it. Okay? I know it sounded complicated. You might have to watch this a couple of times, but it is so simple. But now I'm just marking where we're going to put the handles. Now, because this bag is so narrow but deep, if we just poke holes straight through, then it would go through the sides as well, and we don't want that. So we're going to kind of open the bag back up again to make sure we puncture our holes. Okay, so I've taken a slit and I've just measured 3/4 of an inch from each side. And then I've folded the bag back onto itself so I can just cut through the front and back. And now I'm just showing you to widen the hole with like a screwdriver. I used the end of a paintbrush to show you that. And we're just doing that so you can get your jute through. I cut 2 pieces of jute, however long you want your handles to be, and put knots on the inside and just made sure that they were mostly the same size. And that's how you make a cute little gift bag. Now, obviously, you can make this bigger if you have big gifts to give. But this is just a quick and easy way to make a cute little gift bag that will fit on this advent calendar. And I just stuck the piece of foam in there so that you guys could see how it looks all assembled. Okay, so now on to the advent calendar. This is the part that if you just skip ahead to if you have bought the boxes. So my original intention was to make a 12 Days of Christmas board, gift board for the 12 Days of Christmas. For those of you who don't know, the 12 Days of Christmas is between Christmas and Little Christmas, or the Epiphany, or the Feast of the Kings. I think this, the Feast of the Magi. I feel like there's so many different names for the same event, but it was basically when the Magi arrived to baby Jesus after they saw the star and followed the whole thing. But anyway, that took 12 days, and that's what the 12 Days of Christmas is. So originally I was like, I'm just going to do this at the end of Christmas for the 12 Days of Christmas. Then I realized a lot of people do countdown to Christmas calendars or Advent calendars, and I was like, well, duh, people could use the same exact technique. I feel bad that it's going up on the 3rd. I should have had it up earlier, but again, I was planning it for after Christmas. So we're just going to take the stencil, and I'm using, I thought it was a red marker, but it actually ends up being pink. I need better lighting in my room. But I was taking a red and a black marker just to stay with that farmhouse feel. But you could do whatever colors you choose. And I'm just using that stencil to go ahead and label them. I thought it was cute, would be cute if I put like every other color. All the odd ones are red and all of the even ones are black. I actually tried to use my green marker, and it was dry as a desert. I'm telling you. I don't know what happened. But black is cute, so we're just going to go with black. Now, I will tell you, using markers on these particular stencils, I used actual like Sharpie markers. They bled underneath them, and they dragged some ink through, almost like wicked, some ink through. So it's not the neatest application, I will tell you that now. And if you make a mistake, you can always slip the bag over because it's the same on both sides. I also wanted to create this that it's reusable, and it also can store away pretty easily. All of these bags can come off and be folded up and put away. All right. So if you did this on as an advent calendar, there's a couple of things you can do. If you bought these bags, you could shorten the strings. If you bought the gift boxes that have the cardboard cut out for a handle, you could always cut them off and glue some jute handles on them instead. Yeah, and if you want to, I was actually thinking about this as well because these are silver. I did use silver hooks, so I just left it. But to make these more farmhouse, you could do to glue jute or even ribbons. Ribbon would be super cute. If you took the gift boxes from the Dollar Tree, cut those flat, and then glued some ribbon handles on there, that would be super cute as well. All right, just lots of different ideas, lots of different different styles. You guys know I like you to make it personal. I like you to go ahead and do your own thing. If you don't watch the Fry Life, and you haven't been watching the Fry Life since the beginning, they had an advent calendar that was 24 little buckets. So the little buckets from the Dollar Tree that I showed in the beginning, you get 3 for $1. So it would cost a total of $8 plus a string of jute. But basically, the buckets were just tied together with a string of jute. There was like a, they tied a knot on this handle, went about 4 inches, tied a knot on that handle, went about 4 inches, that sort of thing. Okay? So now that we're all done, we'll set them aside and we'll work on our board. Now this board is, I'm making this board 18 by 16 inches. The reason I'm doing that is because that's fine. That's what I need. The reason I picked 16 inches is because that's how wide the contact paper is. But if you're going to make an advent calendar and you're going to want it to be twice as wide or twice as long, so do that. And also if you do different baskets or buckets, go ahead and label it or measure it the way that you want. What I did was for 12 of them, I did 4 across and 3 rows down. But again, you work with what you have. You work with what sizes you need. Okay. Now, we've cut things before, measure twice, cut once, done all the things. So this is nothing new. I wish I could actually fast forward it even more because it's like boring. But I just wanted to show you too that, I scored it twice and it didn't go through the paper, I just took my scissor. That's an option, don't forget. All right, and this is a great way to upcycle a piece of cardboard. This was just a shipping box that we had gotten. But like I said, if you wanted to use the foam board from the Dollar Tree, you could. Or if you wanted to make this on any of the Dollar Tree's pieces of art, you'd probably need several pieces of art, but you could go ahead and do that as well. Okay? Yeah, that would actually be kind of cute. There's a few nice sized pieces out in the wintertime that are just perfect rectangles. So you could go ahead and you could push 4 of them together and, just glue a popsicle stick in the seam and that helps stay, blah, blah, blah. You guys know how to do that, right? Tell me you know how to do that because I don't want to show you how to do that. Oh, man. Okay, so we're just trimming this board around, like I said, and we're just trying to make sure it's all even. We've cut cardboard before, so. Now I'm going to lay the contact paper, and Dollar Tree has this contact paper in 2 finishes. This is the pine finish, and there's antique birch. So depending on what look you're going for, I was contemplating doing the antique birch. I thought it would look really cute with the white bags, but I know that I like to keep my Christmas farmhouse to be like a little bit more of the neutral. I don't know what I'm saying. Do you guys know what I'm saying? Let me know in the comments down below if you know what I'm saying. So just like we've done lots of things before, we pull back a corner, we lay on the back side, we line up with the markings, we line up something we're trying to cover with the markings on the contact paper. And then while we have the one corner secure, we flip it over and we work from that corner out, pulling the paper and smoothing as we go. Now this contact paper is 16 inches and this board was like 15, almost 16 inches. So I have a little edge to trim. And if the material you're working on doesn't really cling to the contact paper very well, you can always add tape to it if you want, just to help that out. And I know other contact papers have more stickiness to them, but this is supposed to be, I think, sold mostly as shelf liner, so it's supposed to be easily removable. Okay, repositionable, I think, is technically its term. All right, now we're not getting to it yet because I'm just trimming up the contact paper, but I wanted to tell you about the hooks that I found. Now the hooks that I found were were sold originally in the oh my goodness, hardware section where the tape is. They were decorative hooks, and when I went back today, I couldn't find any. So there are other ones that they have. They have little white ones with little tiny, they're not like rounded, they're like square. But whatever they have at your Dollar Tree when you go, just as long as you have enough for what you're trying to do. I also was thinking about brass fasteners. If you put in a brass fastener and just left it protruding a little bit to get the string behind it. Brass fasteners are like helicopter pins. I don't know if different people have different names for them, but they almost look like a push pin on the outside. They have the 2 pieces of flat metal that you open the wings on. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just lining up. I'm putting my ruler, I'm using my ruler width as a guide to how far I want these to go, close I want these to go to the edge. And I want to space them evenly. So what we're going to do is we're going to put down our first row, and then we're going to put down our, we're going to put down our outside row and then our second outside row. And then we're going to space the 2 middle rows evenly between them, okay? Now, how I decided to do it was I'm going to peel the back off of a hook. I'm going to hook the strings, and then I'm going to hold the bag down where I want it to go. Okay, I left just a little space for it to go real close to the bottom. And then I stuck it down, like just went straight down where it was supposed to be. And then when I went to go put the second hook on, which you'll see here in a second, what I did was I put the bag just over the, like it overlapped the hook below it, but just ever so slightly. So it went right above where the hook actually goes with the string. And then I repeated that with the one above it as well. So you can see here I've started from the bottom, and then I made sure that that bag is just right above where the hook is. And then I pulled the string with the hook on it and placed it straight down. And then I repeated with the top bag. And the only thing I'm going to do slightly different is when I go to line these up in the middle, I'm going to start the both bottom ones and then the next ones instead. So, I mean, that's just a matter of personal preference. I just wanted to make sure that my spacing was set on the bottom there. All right. Now, because I did these every other one different color, they do take on a striped effect because they have like the first row is red, the second row is black, the third row is red, but that's a matter of taste and design. Okay. Now, if you wanted to use spray adhesive and some pretty Christmas wrapping paper on this instead of contact paper, you could. That's another option as well. I just wanted to share with you guys. They do sell spray adhesive at the Dollar Tree, but I feel like it's not as good quality as some that you can get at Walmart for fairly inexpensive. Okay. So now that I have them all set, we're just going to take them off so that they're not in my way, because they'll fall off if I turn this over anyway. And we're going to put hangers on here. Now, if hanging is an option, if you wanted to make this where it rests up against your wall, or if it you put it in a plate holder, like a large plate holder, then you could. But we're going to poke holes in it, and I'm just measuring about 1 inch down and 1 inch in from the side. And then I'm poking some jute through, tying knots, and then using that, which now it's adjustable. I could always pull it through more and tie a new knot if I want to make it shorter. But Jimmy was like, oh, it hangs really low. And I was like, well, yeah, because if we had kids, then you wouldn't want the kids to have to like ask you all the time, could you get them from? I mean, part of the fun of this project is that the kids can, you know, at the end of a good day, go ahead and open their new whatever day that's represented. Okay. And that's it, everybody. I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. It was so much fun doing it for you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to share with friends and family. Anybody you know might be interested in making one of these or seeing how we made it or something like it. And yeah, and if you haven't yet, click subscribe, and when you do, a little bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And go ahead, if you make one, share it with me. Let me know how you like it. And as always, you take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye.